Welcome back. We're talking with Mayor Ashley Swearengin and Jim Bourne and Bill McCune of the Fresno Bee. I'd like to go back to transportation. Jim, you want to ask a question?
Well, I'll make this real quick about the high-speed maintenance facility. Huge, 1,500 jobs. There's a lot of people vying for that competition. Kern County wants it, and Merced does it. And, you know, Merced said, you know, they got the UC campus from Fresno. They think they can take this facility from them. Why is our application better than the other folks?
Well, first of all, I think it's good for Merced to be overconfident, because what they may not recognize is that Fresno very much has its act together, and it is a new and a different day in Fresno. The city and the county have worked very closely together. Our proposal is extremely competitive without revealing a lot of the details, because we don't want our friends up north to take some of our strategic tips from us, but we have a solid proposal. It's exactly in keeping with what the High-Speed Rail Authority has said that it wants.
Fresno works, right?
Fresno works. We, by a long shot, have the abundance of a qualified labor supply to meet the needs not only of building the facility, but supplying the workforce, you know, well into the future. We've got financial incentives on the table. We know that between Fresno and Bakersfield, it is the only place in the high-speed rail system where we truly reach high speeds for enough of a distance for those trains to actually be tested.
On the test track.
So it may, from a merit standpoint, the Fresno proposal is very, very strong. Now, obviously, we have a lot of work to do to continue to build support from the public and to make sure the High-Speed Rail Authority knows about the merits of our application.
I'm going to turn our attention to local transportation and city streets. Fresno spends less on city streets than our peer cities. In fact, we're last among peer cities in expenditures per lane mile. Now, the California League of Cities had a report recently that said that roads in California are at the at-risk category, and they're projected to deteriorate to a poor category within 20 years. How are you going to ensure that this will not be the fate of Fresno roadways?
I think the most important thing we can do is pass a ballot initiative in November. SaveOurLocalServices.com is where you can go for more information. But the worst thing possible for Fresno streets is if the state comes and takes our local revenues that are dedicated to maintaining those streets. We saw the governor and the legislature almost make that move in last year's budget. Fortunately, that initiative was snatched from the jaws of the budget monster in Sacramento right at the last minute, and can be used to keep our streets safe. It's a big part of public safety overall, and Fresno is very involved in leading that fight in Sacramento.
Okay, Bill?
Well, I have a question in regard to planning. And you have a new planning director, John Dugan, and I'm wondering is what is his emphasis going to be? And I ask that because the city of Fresno spent about $3 million on the southeast growth area, and people say, hey, we're not going to be there for 20 or 30 years, and in fact it's kind of sprawl planning. The money should have been spent west of Highway 99 trying to make that a really nice area. So what is John Dugan going to concentrate on?
Well, first of all, SEGA is, the dollars used for that are not general fund dollars. As that property develops, the expense will be repaid to the city. So, so it is the first time in Fresno's history, in recent history, certainly, where there was an advanced planning effort. I think we need more of that. Once again, we're in this debate of either or. Either we do southeast or we do the west area. The fact of the matter is we need to plan for both areas to come online in a very systematic way, so we're not just creating the blighted neighborhoods 50 years from now. The planning director's focus is on leading a comprehensive effort, a general plan update initiative that's underway right now. Will incorporate SEGA as well as develop the plans for the west area, downtown, the central area, and the major transportation corridors of our city. We're committed to staying within our sphere of influence, not going beyond that, accommodating the growth with infill and frankly the vision that was set out in the 2025 general plan. But there are a number of rules and laws that need to be changed for us to actually implement that plan, and that's where we're headed in this next year.
So why has it taken so long? I mean, the plan was passed 10 years ago, and we've heard this being an impediment to development and revitalization for 10 years now.
You got 10 seconds.
I don't think there's been an appetite for really getting in there and understanding what's holding us back, our very own laws that we wrote and passed. There's not been a constituency for good planning and urban design, and a real recognition that we have limited resources when it comes to land, when it comes to policing services. We can't continue to extend outwards and see the city of Fresno continue to be on solid financial ground. So all of these things have come together, and I think we're in a good position now.
Well, I want to thank Mayor Swearengin for being being with us. And when we come back, we'll get Jim Bourne and Bill McEwen's take on the first year of the Swearengin administration and what the next year holds. That conversation in a moment. This is the Maddy Report.